If you're like me, money is tight these days. My kids are always outgrowing their clothes and shoes. Groceries are getting more and more expensive. Salaries and wages just aren't keeping up with inflation. And the life of a YouTube fisherman does not rake in the dough. My wife and I are always looking for wise ways to spend and invest our money. But unfortunately, as many of you know, fly fishing can be a very expensive hobby. But don't worry, in this video, I'm gonna talk about 3 ways in which you can save a lot of money in the world of fly fishing. Stay tuned. All right, the first place you can start saving money in the world of fly fishing is with indicators. Here are some typical indicators that you might find. Thingamabobbers. They work really well, but unfortunately, they're about $5 to $10 per pack, and you only get 5 or 6 in a pack. A step higher than that, one that I can't afford, so I don't even have an example to show you, are those Oros twist indicators. They're over $20 for 6 of them. That's rich man indicators. I can't afford that, and if you can't either, here's my solution. These are foam floats. 100 of these cost about 10 bucks. You can get them on eBay or on Amazon. These are durable, work well, and cost a fraction of other indicators you might use. Similar ones might be oval shaped or this round shape, and they might have a slit on the side so you can easily get them on and off your line, and then use a piece of toothpick to push it down and against the line so it doesn't move anywhere. They work really well, but the ones that have the slit on them, you run the risk of them falling off if the toothpick becomes dislodged, then you're littering this foam stuff in the creek or river or wherever you're fishing. That's why I like these ones. They have a tiny hole in the middle, and before you put the fly on, you run this up your line to where you want it, stick a toothpick in it to hold it tightly against your line, and then attach your fly. These are nice because while the toothpick helps to hold the indicator tight against the line and keep it in place, you can also use some pressure to slide the indicator up and down the line so you can change the height of where you want the indicator to be. If you want to take it off and save it, just cut your fly off, slide it down the end of the line, and there you go. You can reuse these. Foam floats like these are an effective and cheap alternative to some of the more expensive fly fishing indicators. The second area where you can save a lot of money in the fly fishing world is by learning to tie your own tapered leaders. I'll give you some quick math that I've run down, and you guys can check them for yourself. In the packs of tapered leaders that you buy from the store, where they're already manufactured, they're the pre-made leaders, you're spending about 50 cents per foot of line. If you learn to tie your own tapered leaders, meaning you buy the spools of line yourself, you start out with a thicker line that's tied to your fly line, you tie a double union knot or a blood knot to a medium strength line, and then you tie the same knot to a lighter line. You've tied your own tapered leader. If you start to do this process and you're using spools of line that cost anywhere from $10 to $15 for a spool of line, which contains 250 to 300 yards of line per spool, you're gonna spend around 2 to 3 cents per foot of leader line. So again, the manufacturer tapered line was about 50 cents per foot. Tying your own leaders, about 2 to 3 cents per foot. That's a huge amount of savings over the life of a fly fisherman. Okay, the third way that you can save quite a bit of money in the fly fishing world is tying your own flies. Now, this can become an expensive hobby if you want it to, or if you let it, but there are ways where you can do it very cheaply and save a lot of money in the long run. You don't need every tool in the fly tying world to tie flies. Personally, the only official piece of gear that I have is an old $20 vise that I bought on sale. I just wanted something to hold the hook for me. Otherwise, I use my hands to tie flies, with the occasional use of an old pair of hemostats that I had. The hemostats can help to hold the line tight when you're making any changes, but otherwise, I'm just using my hands to tie the flies. For most of my materials, I buy them on sale at craft stores and dollar stores. I buy foam sheets from the craft store. You can get big sheets of foam for under $1. I buy all my thread discounted, glue that I use from dollar stores. Buying the material at craft stores and dollar stores is a fraction of the cost of buying the same material at fly shops, and that will end up saving you a lot of money in the long run. Here are some examples of some flies that I've tied that I've caught fish with. As you can see, there's nothing fancy about them, but the fish love them. To prove my point, in the description of this video, I put a link to a past video that I did where I tied a bunch of crappy flies. I mean, they were terrible, and I went out and fished with them. I think you guys will be surprised at just how effective they were. In the end, when I've done the math on what fly tying has saved me, I'm able to tie my flies for about 25 to 50 cents per fly versus paying over $1.50 per fly in the fly shops. Well, there you go, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I hope at least one of these 3 things that we talked about today will help you save a lot of money in the long run of fly fishing. If you enjoyed the video, I definitely appreciate your support by hitting that like button, leaving a comment, and subscribing to the channel. I have a ton of videos on multi-species fly fishing, and I think you'll enjoy the content. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Kevin Rapkoch Fishing. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.